Good morning, day 336. What? Finishing the book of First Peter. Look at this panoramic view on a beautiful dock. Sitting on the dock of the bay, the Palmasola Bay. It's beautiful. I might sit this way so I can enjoy the view. Is that selfish of me? Well, you'll see the sunrise behind me. Man, it's been a whirlwind of a few days for me, really a week. But so much goodness in there, so much goodness. I've done some hard things, some new things that I've never done before. And so just sitting with Peter's words this morning, he, a few phrases or verses that popped out to me was love covers a multitude of sins. Isn't that the truth? And then he ended with God's grace and stand firm in this grace. Man, I needed those words. And that's what I titled today, Stand Firm in Grace. And I love that he included that word firm. Hey, good morning. That word firm. Because it's easy, when you don't, sometimes if you just throw words around, it can be a little waffly, like a little unstable. But when you really sit, and grace is a powerful, powerful word. And love is too, like God's version of love. And grace is a byproduct of that. When you really get what love is, like what God is, you have to live in grace. But not just grace for yourself, but even grace for other people. Living in non-judgment, non-attachment, letting people be on their own journeys, not expecting perfection from yourself or other people, standing firm in grace, firmly, not waffling, not like, oh, I'll give you grace, and then you walk on and blah, blah, blah. Although, and I've been doing some of that lately. I've been doing a little bit of that, but also not, because I really do think I have a fairly good grasp on grace, and I do accept it and give it to other people. At least now. I didn't used to. I am reformed. I'm a reformed, judgmental perfectionist, or trying to be, recovering. And that word grace, where you have a few safe people in your life to let your ego have a temper tantrum, like blah, 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 but still being in full love and grace for yourself, even in those moments. Because that's part of the human condition. We have an ego that is just blah, blah, blah. And to give it its voice intentionally and within a safe place where the other person, your safe people know that that's what you're doing, like they know what it's all about, and where you can still go breathe and calm down and go, okay, now that I got that out, I can get back into grace. Grace for myself for letting that happen, grace for the object of whatever my tantrum was about. Sometimes it's about other people, sometimes ourselves, sometimes all of it. Like being in relationship with other humans is hard. It's not hard as much as it's just messy, because it's ego against ego, and I want my, all of the competing desires, and while still trying to really love. Like that's the call of the Christian, right? The call of love, the call of God. Like living this life, sometimes it's not the way of the world. It is not the way of the world. And it's going to be lonely sometimes. It's going to be isolating. A lot of people are addicted to drama and all the ego and the hatred and the anger and the battle mindset and, all of that. And even Satan being against us. You know what? The devil, this is in chapter 5 of First Peter is one of a really famous verse that a lot of Christians like to quote. The devil is prowling, like a lion prowling. You know what? And you may not be in agreement with me, but the devil is our own ego. Like, there's not a devil out there preying on you. It's our own thoughts. It's our ego. And when you allow it to take over without mindfully giving it its safe place to sort of have its tantrum, in standing firmly in grace and love, because love covers a multitude of sins. That's why it's a different way of acknowledging our humanity, living fully in our humanity, without it. The ego is not in the driver's seat, but it still has a voice. And learning how to detach from it and live more non-judgmentally, it's a process. It takes a lot of practice, a lot of grace, a lot of love. But the more you can practice and living consciously, you have to live consciously. The Christian cannot live unconsciously. The two do not go together. But there are a lot of people out there that think that they are Christian, and their egos are in charge. They're all about the rules and righteousness and blah, blah, blah. That's not what Jesus came and role modeled. That's not what he calls us to. But we almost have to go through that phase to get to where we're really supposed to be, because there is a way, and a way is not a destination. It's an evolution. It's a journey of transcending and awakening to the reality of the dream of the human life. Paradox, the law of paradox and duality, that really takes an open heart and a willingness to live fully consciously, fully intentionally, fully with an open heart, which means that you have to be willing to get your heart broken by other people, the suffering that we're called to by choosing God's love. But when we stand firmly under love, in grace, with God, all things are possible. Yeah. So I'm standing firmly in that today. And I'll be heading back to my home state and my family tomorrow in Kentucky to hear my beautiful daughter's angelic voice tomorrow, Sunday, in a concert. And anyway, and heading on. It's hard to believe it's December already, and Christmas is right around the corner. When I'm in this sunshine and 70 degrees, my brain is not computing. Anyway, I hope you will maybe visit some of Peter's words and the encouragement of love, living a life in God's love, standing firmly in grace, God's love and grace. It covers a multitude of sins, which helps tame the lion of the ego. That lion can be tamed and seen for what it really is. Just a little angry kitten over there that seems like a roaring lion. Don't let it be a roaring lion. It doesn't have to be. It can feel that way, but with practice and consciousness and choosing love and grace, you start to see it for the little kitten that it really is. Just a little kitten that it can be. You have a choice whether it's a roaring lion or it's just a little cat, wanting its way. All right, talk to you tomorrow. Maybe from the road somewhere. Who knows? Where will Felicia be tomorrow as we start the book of 2 Peter? Actually, 2 Peter might just be a chapter in and of itself. I can't remember. Anyway, talk to you later. Love you. Good morning. My sister's watching. Good morning. All right, bye. Love you.